Hello and welcome to Football Pass's Scottish Cup final preview. I'm David Tanner. Joining me is Gordon Strachan, who won the Cup as Celtic manager and as a player with Aberdeen, and former Hearts manager Gary Locke, club captain in 1998 when Hearts won the Cup. Gordon, as an Edinburgh man, are you pining for Hearts for this one?
Is the screen frozen there, David? Did the screen freeze after you asked that question?
No, I think hell did though.
Well, absolutely. How much I'd admire Hearts at a club and things like that, but I've still got I'm not hoping to win it. Yeah, a couple of reasons being that a lot of friends at Celtic, and also my son is coaching there as well. So I don't think that's right. And the fact that I was a very young Hib supporter up till I was 15, no, it wouldn't be a good day for me, to be honest with you. But before we start this, did you know I tried to sign Gary when he was at Hearts, when I was at Coventry?
I did not know that. What were you thinking?
Yes, we bid. We had a kind of mental block. We bid 1.25 million for Gary Locke away back in 1990 something. Imagine how much he'd be worth now.
I wish they had went through, Gordon. I'd been sitting here a millionaire.
I've been waiting for the phone call for the last 22 years to say yes or no. So I take it was a no, Gary.
You know what, Gordon? I think I actually did my cruciate in the cup final, and I think that's probably what ended up kind of kiboshing that deal. Because I'm sure the gaffer Jim Jeffries, he didn't tell me about that until after that final. But by that time, I was lying in Murrayfield Hospital getting an operation. But I remember that. I remember him talking about that.
Sliding doors. Now there you are in Hearts trophy room.
Brilliant.
Sod all in it.
There you go.
Sorry, carry on, David.
Guys, does it say all about 2020 that we're sitting here looking forward to last season's cup final?
I know, it's very strange, isn't it? It's like, at the time I thought it was a strange decision to play last season's Scottish Cup this year, but obviously now that we're in it, I'm delighted they made that decision. So it's completely different. I'm in at Tynecastle at the moment, and normally, everybody would be buzzing, and the place would be really busy with probably fans coming into the club shop, all that type of stuff. But it's pretty surreal at the minute. There isn't the same buzz as what there would normally be when you're looking forward to a cup final.
Have you had anybody asking you for a ticket? Anybody at all?
Well, that's about the only positive for me. Normally, I'm about 400 or 500 tickets for a cup final. This time, it's just myself that's allowed to go. So that's been the one positive. But no, the whole club's looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, but it is certainly different. There's no doubt about that.
Does that affect the game, Gordon, do you think? Is there less adrenaline, less nerves, less excitement because the fans won't be there? And does it have a levelling effect in the game?
Definitely. If you look at the English Premiership just now, there's 5 points between the top 10 sides. That never happens when you've got a crowd. That never happens. There's usually 2 teams away, 1 team away, and possibly 3. But no 10 teams within 5 points of each other. That's how crazy it is at the moment. And it's the same with Scottish football. We try our best as footballers or even commentators to enjoy the atmosphere, but it's not there. And that helps you as a commentator. You've been there, David, everything. It changes. And everybody will say to you, the competitive spirit should be in you. But it's amazing that the crowd, now whether it be enthusiasm, whether it's willing to go forward, or fear when you lose the ball to get back quickly, that noise somehow generates you to go forward, back, higher, sprint. There's something in it that makes it a real game, and we're missing that at the moment. And as Gary says, normally you've got the build-up for it, and everybody's enjoying it, and you get sucked in, and small things like the press conferences you all go to, these kind of things, the players get interviewed, families being involved, talking about how they got to the final. It's just not there at the moment. But once the players get there on Saturday, the boys will do the best they can with the situation they're in.
Gary, be honest, does this help Hearts, the lack of a crowd there?
I think it'll probably help us in as much, we've all been there when you're at Parkhead and Ibrox and there's maybe a wee 50-50 decision. And as soon as all the crowd get up, inevitably maybe the referee will go with that shout, sometimes feeling under a wee bit more pressure. But if we had been able to take more support, we would have got half a hand in anyway, because we would have taken a huge support ourselves. So I think it has a slight advantage for us that there's no any fans there, because obviously sometimes they can influence some of the decisions in the game. But it's the same for both teams. As Gordon says there, I feel for the players, because when they're in the tunnel before the game, I was lucky enough to be involved in the Hibs final, being assistant to Paulo. And even although I wasn't playing that day, see the buzz that you get for hearing the crowd just as you're about to enter the pitch. It was phenomenal, and they're not going to have that kind of buzz as they're walking out.
Even the drive up, Gary, even the drive coming into Hartlepool, supporters all getting around the bus.
That's 100%, Gordon. That's the thing.
As a player, you come from the hotel where you're a bit nervous. You get on the bus and you're driving there. So as a manager, it's the same. You think, what should I do? What am I going to do? What happens if that happens? If I pick the right team? But as soon as you hear that crowd noise coming, you go, bang, it's on. Doesn't matter what I've decided. Now matters. The player's simpler. Now matters. So you're going to miss all that, and it's going to be hard. But I do agree with Gary that Celtic manager for 4 years, and there's no doubt if you've got so many supporters, especially at Celtic range at home with them, if they hear a roar for a penalty or something like that, that human nature goes, oh, must have been a penalty. And vice versa, the same as Tynecastle, because the atmosphere's that brilliant there that I suppose if you look at the other way, if you're Ross County, you got to Tynecastle, the atmosphere at Tynecastle would probably get a penalty or a sending off or something at Tynecastle. So I understand where Gary's coming from, and it'll be a real test of the player's character, especially the team that goes down. I think goes 1-0 down. Can they come back just themselves? Can they come back just these 11 players? Even though you're a manager, and hell, it's the 11 players. Sometimes when you go down, that crowd can help you to come back. You just feel that there's people behind you. There's another gang right behind you pushing you on.
So, Gary, for this final, is the first goal, given what Gordon said, they're more important than ever?
Yeah, I think the first goal, as Gordon touched on, I think all the games I've watched this season, I think the first goal is really important because, as you say, you haven't got the fans if you go a goal down to get behind you, but also you've not got the fans getting on top of you as well if you go a goal down. So I think you can see that, for me, probably the team that's benefited most from that this season, possibly Rangers. Because Tavernier, the times I've been at Ibrox with Hearts, they were quite quick to get on Tavernier's back, I felt. Whenever he made a mistake, they were quite quick to get on him. This season, he's having the season of his life and he's been absolutely outstanding. And I think that's because he's playing without a fear. He's not worried about giving the ball away because there isn't anybody there to get on his case. So it can kind of work both ways, but I definitely think the first goal on Sunday will be huge, because if we can get it, and Celtic, they've had 2 fantastic results recently, but they were on a little run there. I think there's added pressure, obviously, on Celtic because of what's at stake, whereas we are the underdogs, and if we can get the first goal, it puts the pressure on Celtic, no doubt about it.
Well, that sounds like mind games, Gordon, from the Hearts end.
Sorry?
That sounds like mind games from the Hearts end.
Well, Gary's correct about the fear. Some people think the supporters are there. You react to their positivity, but a lot of players react to their negativity because you go, right, I'll prove you wrong. If you think I'm rotten, wait, you see this, I'm back on the ball again, or I'm going to run even further. So yeah, Gary's correct in what he's saying about the negativity. You need all these emotions as a football player. You can ride with them, and it's an energy, or you can go against them if you're angry with the crowd. Anger's an energy, as Johnny Lydon said a couple of years ago. So Gary's right. And he's. But I think if Hearts score first, it's the players are just thinking. There's that point where the Celtic players will think, "Oh no, here we go." But also, if Celtic score first, they'll go, "Yes, we're in the lead." We don't often give leads away. Then Hearts will probably think the same. But I think, yeah, it's not going to be an easy game for Celtic, absolutely, because they're not playing well enough at this moment in time. They're just getting back into their stride, and they've had a week to prepare for this. No often they get a week to prepare for a game, at Celtic. So most teams, when they play against Celtic, have a week to prepare. Celtic have got that week as well to really analyse Hearts. Because if you're, as I said, if you're Celtic just now, games are coming fast and furious, and you're recovering from one, you go for another. But I think this is given good time to have a look at the strengths of Hearts.